Hey Professor, this school's punishment system is so unfair. People have done worse, okay? Much worse. I mean, just take a look at last year alone. That underground war between the Gryffindors and the Slytherins before the Quidditch final? Yeah, those injuries were pretty bad, and yet the people responsible got, what, a couple of detentions? Maybe? Which is fair. You know, the school found an appropriate punishment and used it accordingly. They haven't here. But there's more. The year before that, a certain someone flew into Hogwarts in a flying car with his trusty sidekick, putting all of Wizardkind in danger of exposure. Which, okay, wouldn't have been a bad thing in my opinion, but still, they broke the law. And what did they get? A warning letter home and a single detention. Yes, okay, they have some form of immunity from Professor Dumbledore, which is unfair in itself. But they broke the law. It's ridiculous. It was one detention. And that's not it. Look at the Weasley twins for Merlin's sake. Between the two of them, they have broken more school rules than there are animal parts in Professor Snape's cupboard. And yet, all they've ever received are detentions. A record-breaking number of detentions, I'm sure, but detentions nonetheless. Are you actually telling me that what Sam did is worse than all of that? Seriously? A provoked attack in defence of a friend, I'm pretty sure Professor Dumbledore likes that sort of thing, which led to a fair duel where both people were happy to participate in it, is worse than, I don't know, breaking the law. Okay, so maybe the person without punishment is currently stuck in the hospital wing with a rather large pair of front teeth, a purple and greenish striped tinge to her skin, antlers, and a rather snazzy looking tail. Time out, Sam, that is an amazing piece of magic and I can't help but be impressed. But she's going to live? Her life was never in danger? And yet the other participant in the duel gets suspended for a week. What? Every other offence in this school has been punishable by detentions. Trust me, I did the research. Detentions that are very annoying and so do teach the lesson that they're meant to, but don't go on a student's permanent record and don't jeopardise any future that that student may have. What Sam did is very comparable to what the Gryffindors and Slytherins did only last year. And yet this is the decision? And it's for Sam as well, whose main drive is their ambition, who has their future planned out to a T. And yet you're stripping all of that away for, what, one duel? It's bloody ridiculous! It also makes no sense. Let's have a look at my research, shall we? In actuality, the placement of suspension on the list of possible punishments at Hogwarts is more of a formality. If any crime within the school walls was serious enough to warrant going on a student's permanent record, that student would be expelled. In any other case, a detention or number of detentions should prove necessary with house point deduction, the severity of which to be decided upon by the teachers of Hogwarts at that time. All anger aside, Sam's in isolation at the moment, which means being in the dungeons away from all students, doing work under the watchful eye of Professor Snape and the Bloody Baron. I don't actually think they've been too harsh about the whole thing, but still, it's a suspension. That's harsh enough. But you know what? With this, Professor Snape's actually alright by me. I mean, sure, he's a rubbish teacher, and so that puts him pretty low in my book, but he seems to be the only person who treats the Slytherins with respect. And everyone deserves respect until they lose that right. And not all of the Slytherins have lost that right. Honestly, I bet if it had been any other house, the punishment would not be this severe. It's so unfair. And with Sam in isolation, I've been going on the lookout for Tracey on my own, and I'm really not that good at it. I've been trying to think how to fix everything, but everything just feels like it's falling apart. Just, why a suspension? It doesn't make any sense, and it's so unfair.